Hello everyone, Mark91 here once again with another video of my Dungeons & Dragons basic game journal. This video will be number 5, but I haven't recorded number 4 yet, in which I talked technical talk of the second session, which were the third and fourth encounters. Yeah. Let me. Yes. Today, during the previous session at the last encounter, everyone got a bit over 1,000 experience in total. So they all reached 100 experience, and with that, they leveled up to the second level. So first thing we did today was the leveling stuff. So I went around. I had copied the more advanced player sheets from the book. I copied those at a local supermarket. Got some snacks as well, for me, not for the team. So yeah, the leveling is kind of they were pretty confused about it. When let me explain it in the way the basic game explains it. A couple of things changed. If you level up, you can gain ability points to increase one of your abilities, like strength, dexterity, and constitution, which have an effect on skills and such. And you also get to we had to roll a dice, which differed per character. The fighter had to roll a d10, but he got low on that, so he didn't gain that much health. The mage rolled the d4 for some health. Got a 2, up to 13 maximum health. And such, we got through the leveling with the health, and then we got the skills. So I explained in that you've got class skills, which are easy to progress, easy to get better in, because you get skill points. Skill points differ per each class, how many you get. And yeah, there are class skills which are easy to progress, and there are cross class skills which practically every class can get, but are difficult to progress. So yeah. Leveling took quite a lot of time to get explained and such, and all the things filled out. I believe that when magic users level, they can use one more spell of each. Well, they could choose a new spell, but for the existing spells that they could prepare, each of those they could prepare another one, I believe. So I had to have that. Was probably what was planned for people to do, because the fifth encounter was pretty tough. It was very tough. But about the leveling, the fighter didn't get any new skills. He just progressed his skill. The thief, my younger brother who was playing the thief, wasn't present this time. Who was at the birthday party, so I chose how he leveled. I rolled the dice and such, and chose which levels, because I know the most of Dungeons and Dragons. So I kind of know what skills are better for a rogue. I got him the ability to sneak around, move silently, to jump. Which really wouldn't think that would be a skill, but it is. And spot, just to find hidden enemies. Okay, well, hidden enemies and other things. Okay, that's the leveling. Okay, then the fifth encounter, which was the only encounter we did today. Next time, which will probably be Monday night, we're going for the final encounter. I might think about recording that. In that, I'll be as least helpful as I can, only explaining things when they ask things about stuff. So the fifth encounter. They started out in a room with a fountain and some chests plain inside right in front of them. And two alcoves behind the fountain. Hold on a second. Here it is. No. 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 I'm going over the boards here. It's looking for the board we used. Got it. This board. They started over here. Here's the fountain, and here's the alcoves, which are covered in spider webs, so they would have, so they can't see what's in there. What was in the, well, I'll say what was in the hidden there when they got to it. So yeah, they immediately went for the chests right here, and when they tried to tinker with it, a gargoyle popped up from the fountain, and that was the big problem. The lesser gargoyle, yeah, as I should say, is tough. It has damage resistance to anything except for magic and magic weapons. So practically most of what they threw at it had its damage reduced by 5. Some of times it didn't even do anything at all. They were just slowly whittling it down, only occasionally getting a big hit when they passed one of the magic weapons over to the fighter, and he got a good roll. So yeah, it took them a long time to kill it. So yeah, the gargoyle popped up. They spotted it. They moved a bit, but couldn't get close enough to attack. I moved. Then I was, or better say, to better call it, the gargoyle was. He had his turn, or it had its turn. And the gargoyle, it's not only tough, it's dangerous. It can attack twice. And because the rogue was up front over here, examining one, he was trying to search one of the chests. He succeeded. He found the trap without setting it off. Yeah, so he was the nearest target on the gargoyle, and I just rolled complete 8 damage on it. Yeah. And he almost died from that. One more hit and he would have died. Next round he retreated as fast as he could. And let me think. Yeah, combat started. They figured out that their attacks weren't doing a lot, so they thought it just had a hell of a lot of health, which it does, almost 40. But I think they suspected more around 50 or 60. Because every time they had an attack and landed it, I wouldn't say exactly how much damage it would do. I would just say something like something vague, like your attack hit, it dealt minor damage, it dealt moderate damage, it's near death, that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, they started fighting. The cleric was staying out of battle, which she has been doing mostly. She went this way and launched a couple of spells, cast Bless to help. It helped a couple of times. And she went over to the cobwebs to search those. The cobwebs, you don't have to roll a search throw, it just takes a whole turn to clear it all out. During all of this, the other group were still chipping away at the gargoyle, and it was laying the hurt on them. So because the cleric had moved towards the cobwebs on its turn, on her turn, and it took a whole turn to clear the webs. I did it like the rest of the turn was clearing out the webs, and in the next turn the webs will be cleared out, and she'll only have one action, like move and such. Which she did. She found a chest over here. Well, she found a chest and moved towards it, searched it, and found a healing potion and some magic armor, which raised her armor class by 1. bringing it up to 18, I believe. Uh, Sometime where during the battle, the gargoyle took out the wizard and knocked it. Well, didn't knock it unconscious, didn't kill it, but she lay dying. Uh, since it isn't described, it's what happens if a character drops to zero in one of the play adventures. If one of them drops to zero, what happens then? I just have that they lay dying, so they can be healed and brought back. Let me think. Yeah, then it was just going back and forth between the gargoyle and the adventurers a bit, chipping, just chipping away damage and chipping away health, casting some spells, damaging it. The mage got revived with the healing potion. Next attack, it retreated. The gargoyle attacked one of the other characters and moved after the elf and the wizard. Hold on. Straks maak je het even af. So yeah, eventually they managed to slay the lesser gargoyle. I hate to see them go up against a full gargoyle. And my mother is listening in now. She plays the elf wizard. So yeah, they finally slay the gargoyle, and they are all cheery and teary. In the meantime, the cleric had went from here to here, joined the battle. They had kind of locked the gargoyle in. It was around here somewhere, and rogue was here. The fighter was here. No, it was here. The cleric over here, and the wizard over here. So yeah, the fighter got the finishing blow, and then they were all cheery. So finally, it's done. And my mother has been keeping. She has been scribbling how much damage a monster takes before it goes down. But because of the damage reduction, that got confused. So she just plain asked me how much health did it, how much health it really have. So I showed it and told it 37 health in total. Yeah. One last thing. I think I already said that the gargoyle was resistant to non-magical stuff, so that had damage reduced. And then they go examine this alcove. They find a chest, but also a skeleton, but not not the same skeleton they've been killing all the time. Yeah, this one was. I was supposed to say something that it would look different, that there was a orange glow coming from it, but I failed that. So they find it. They soon discover that it's stronger because it took a lot more health. It took a lot more damage before it fell. The cleric, she rolled a knowledge roll, which I kind of have like an identify. If they roll high enough, they get to learn something from the creature, but not all of it. So she identified it. I said, you identify the orange glowing skeleton as a fire skeleton, which has a natural resistance to slashing weapons, and the orange fire burning inside its ribcage seems unstable, which was kind of a hint to a trap, because when they slew the fire skeleton finally, it blew up in their faces literally, damaging all around them, which were the rogue, the cleric, and the fighter. They had it in a corner. After a bit of hinting about if it's undead, it's going after one single character. If that character retreats, you get more spaces from which you can attack the creature itself. Yeah, I'm getting close to the time limit. So they slay the fire skeleton, but they were near death as well. One of them succeeded their saving throw to that, but they still died, and the other two got the full blow of it, 8 damage in total, and they died as well. So only the elf was left standing, but they had cleared out everything else. They had found everything, slew the final beast. So that was the end of the encounter with 3 of them dying on the floor. So next time it's the final encounter. I might record it. Need to get permission. It will be a very long time. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.